There can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
And I'm Wes.
Hey.
What's up?
I spoke to Bruce the other day.
Did you? Was it through a tin can? Did you send a telegram? How did you communicate with
smoke
Bruce?
signals is basically how we do it now.
Aha.
Smoke
Social
signals.
distancing.
So, yeah, social distancing, which I'm sure he'll be back. But we had an interesting idea for a topic. We've both worked at the mall for years.
Correct.
A bit longer. We have seen the mall at its height, I would say, right? Mid-late 90s? I mean, it could have been earlier.
I would say it was a little bit earlier.
But it was still hot back in the 90s, though.
You could still smoke in the mall when we worked there.
You could still smoke in the mall. That is true. There were ashtrays on the tables.
Sure. You could have a cheeseburger and a smoke.
That's wild to think about now that you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Had those old chairs that you don't wear shorts in because it would pinch your legs. They were the I don't know what you call that chair, but it sits bump up, and then you sit down in it, it bumps back. It's a netting or something, a plastic netting, and it
did
pinch.
wonders for the back of your legs if you were not well toned.
I'm telling you. No, yeah, get my hair on my leg and snatch it. So
Well, I was shaving my legs at that point, so I didn't have
you were shaving your legs. Your whole body you would shave.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did. A lot of work.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Come in smooth as a baby.
Yep.
I'm telling you. Eating tuna.
Yep. Smelling like baby poo-poo.
So, but now, malls aren't the thing anymore.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like,
I think they're
you
dead.
go to a mall and you kind of feel like it's a museum almost, what it used to be.
I remember on Friday night, Saturday night, where do you want to go? You want to go to the mall. Not because you wanted something to shop for, but you want to see it. You want to be there with everyone, right?
It was a social gathering.
It was a social gathering. You hung out. You got something in the food court. You walked around, talked, walked into a few. You looked at a few stores, basically just talked, hung out, went to the movies.
Sure.
Movie theater was there, and then that'd be basically your night is movies. And we were in there for a Friday night not too long ago. I want to say it was last week. It's dead. No one there. It's Friday night, and I was like, wow. Or even a Saturday night, I was like, you would have this place shoulder to shoulder, especially when you get to the food court.
Mm-hmm.
And no, just, one zombie shambling this way, one shambling that way, nothing, empty stores. And that's across America, too. It's not just
Oh, yeah. I think
USA,
that, unfortunately, in our town, the mall, I guess everybody calls their town the mall.
the mall. Yeah.
So in our town, it's no worse than anywhere else. It's actually better than a lot if you travel around. And
with a smaller town, which has less to do, the malls would, you think, keep better in smaller towns because there's nothing else to do. There's no, go-kart raceway or, other activity. And we still don't have any of that. We have a few things, but not that much. And bigger cities have had more stuff, more options to do than we have. Yet ours is just as bad as anyone else. Well, maybe not as bad, but because there's some I've been to that entire sections are just closed off.
yeah, I like I said, I think it's better than it's above.
It's above the average.
There you go, above the average.
It's not popping.
Which is that could be a good statement for our podcast. Above average.
Above average.
Yeah.
Above average. There you go. And so you've worked in the mall for quite some time, at different places.
Many different. It's like the Monopoly board. I went around twice.
You did. You collected Go. You got $200.
Mm-hmm.
Landed on Boardwalk once, so that was nice. You've been to different. How many different stores? Do you recall?
Close to 10.
I was gonna say 10.
Yeah.
I can name a few of them. Beeper. Do you count Beepers Unlimited?
Well, you can call it that if you want to call it.
Is that what it was?
It was not.
What was it called?
It was called Metro Call.
Excuse me, Metro Call.
Yeah.
And then of course our Cards, Coins, and Collectibles.
Correct.
Vitamin World, weren't you?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Were you ever at GNC?
I was.
You were. Okay, I remember that. You were at Buckle.
Yep.
Yeah. You were at Express.
Correct.
Of course, Bath and Body Works. I mean.
Correct. New York and Company.
New York and Company. No. One of the big box retailers. Hold on. Not Sears, not JCPenney?
Dillard's.
Dillard's. Okay.
And then Sunglass Hut. So it is 10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I almost got them all.
I almost forgot.
So Sunglass Hut.
Yeah.
That's the one I was missing then. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So there you go. All right. We'll see you next time. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, you're good at this because you have seen it when it was still popping, late 90s.
Sure.
And then when did you start noticing a decline?
Well, I think that being my age, I'm 44. I was a kid when the mall opened in 86, I think.
Really?
Was it 86?
Okay. I wasn't here back then. I got here in 89.
Okay.
Twin City Mall had a few dead-end stores back then.
Sure.
Most of things had moved back.
Yeah.
And do you remember, we always heard that rumor when we worked at the mall that people were going to turn, people are tired of Pecanland Malls,
stuff.
Raising prices, so it's time to go back to Twin City. And we're like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The place is dead. Unfortunately.
It has a lot of character, but they gutted it. So
yeah, well, now it's not even a mall anymore. They section it off. But I remember going into it when it was a mall in 89, and there was it had the old 70s look.
It had the feel.
Dawn of the Dead could have been filmed there.
Yeah, it was
really
nice.
It was.
Lots of browns and golds.
Yep. And the what's it called? The concrete with rock trash cans and concrete with rock benches and the little rock. I don't know what that's called, but the concrete with the mixing of all the little rocks in it was the decor in the middle of the aisles there. And there would be like a handful of stores that were open, and then everything else was just desolate.
Yeah.
But that's what it used to be. And they used to have a cinema in there too. Mm-hmm. But everything else was closed. I remember we could just see, I don't remember why, I think there was a card shop a long time ago in there.
There was a comic shop there too.
Okay, maybe that's why we went.
And there was a card shop.
Okay, we probably went just to the card shop. I can't remember. But I remember they had like a little, I can't remember, some book place or some, they sold secondhand books, like the Symphony book sale.
When you're in the dying days of a mall, you'll any vendor
I think there may have been a barber shop in there or something like that. But there was just just a few things. I remember they had the little penny or nickel candy, turnstile, chitlet boxes of the little vending machines. But it had the classic feel there, but I never got to see that when it was busy. All I got to see was completely gutted and halfway haunted mall.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was cool to go in there.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, but now it's nothing like that. Everything's been renovated and rented out to different people in different sections. I'm sure there's still some dead sections in there, but
it's like renovated like a laser tag type thing or something now.
Well, that's like isn't that where the trampoline Spartan place is and something like that? Trampoline park.
You're the one with kids, not me.
I wouldn't go to a trampoline park either way. But anyway, so what was that one like? Let me talk about that one first. I don't remember that.
Well, when I was little, when you compare something when it's like when you compare McDonald's when you're 4, you're like, wow, this is incredible. This is just like the commercial. And then when you eat it in your 40s, you're like, I hope this is going to process at some point. So looking through the lens of that, it was pretty incredible. They had this big train inside the mall that you could ride around, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool for kids.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When I was a kid, we didn't have malls where I live, so we had to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and they didn't have any trains there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And that's Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, that's the capital of Mississippi, and they didn't have a train in their thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't Pecanland Mall do that?
Well, I think because they had all those fountains in center court, it was a bigger deal.
Bigger deal. Yeah. So you remember
skylights and stuff.
They cut the ribbon probably around 86, 87, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you started going to Pecanland. I mean, when?
Well, I mean, I would go there obviously with my parents.
Yeah, obviously. Did your parents ever go back to Twin City?
To take me to that comic shop and card shop, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah,
did you know
pretty much everything was.
How fast was that change from Twin City to Pecanland?
Well, I would say less than 24 months. It completely wiped it out. Like everything, all the big box retailers went there for the most part. And
then everyone else had to follow suit because the big box retailers was what's bringing in the customers.
It was younger and prettier and
Yeah.
It was like MTV.
Yeah.
It was what you saw on cable TV.
That would make sense because by the time I got there, it was, it was dead.
Yeah.
Still a mall, still called a mall, but dead.
It was not the mall. It was Twin City Mall.
It was Twin City Mall. Yeah.
It's not the mall.
No, it was not. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, so as you're a kid, you're going into Pecanland Mall now.
Pecanland Mall. Well, one of the cool things that happened in Pecanland Mall in 1987 was Cardco, which was cards and comics.
It was an island.
It was a kiosk.
A kiosk, in the mall.
Yep.
Because in '89 I went there too, and I thought it was neat. They had a lot of little stuff in their little kiosk, and nice people.
Yep.
We both knew them, Philip and
Jay.
Yeah.
They were actually in a Beckett from 1987 with Don Mattingly on the front.
Really?
Yep.
How did that happen?
I guess they knew a guy.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So anybody that collects old Beckett's, it's a Mattingly Beckett from 87, and there's an article about him in the back.
That's
a short little article.
Do you have that already?
I did. It went away like everything else, unfortunately.
You'll have to show. I would look on eBay. I'll get that. You can get that for $1, I bet.
Yep.
If someone's
Philip autographed it for me.
That's really.
Yep.
Wow. Really cool. Okay. Yeah. So, those, obviously packed the mall.
Yeah, you had fashion shows in the mall then. This is when you had talent shows at the mall.
Oh, we still had those in the 90s. We had a few.
You had all kinds of...
Miss Louisiana, didn't they come there?
Yeah. All that kind of stuff was going on at the mall. It was a huge, huge thing.
To do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the Mecca.
And your first job there was Cards, Coins, and Collectibles?
You are correct, yep.
And I feel like I'm interrogating you now. Okay, so, and then how did you get that job?
I got that job through a mutual friend of ours named Brandon.
Really? That's funny.
Yep.
So Brandon recruited us both.
Well, and that's how I met Ralph, through Brandon, going in, and they needed somebody. And, of course, I was eager to jump into that because a good friend of mine also worked in the mall, Cass. So, it was like it was a social job,
Yeah. You knew a lot of, I even knew a lot of people when I was working in the mall. Caleb worked at Lids.
Yeah.
And
so if you're in college, it was a fun place to work.
Yeah, because everyone was working there with you.
Yeah.
They're run by kids.
Yep.
Basically. Okay. So we start working. It's still big. There's tons of memories I have. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Tons of great times we had at the mall. And lots of fun memories. That was when there was no Cinema 17 that there is now, Tinseltown. Sure. It was just the mall. And then, of course, Cinema 3 and Dollar Cinema, which we talked about.
Yep.
But that if you wanted to, upper class, you went to the mall.
Sure.
For that one. So after that place faded away and you started working around, when at that point did you notice foot traffic getting lighter?
Well, that in the late 90s, I think a lot of it just...
Oh, you were noticing it then?
Yeah.
See, to me, that looked normal.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to the mall that much either.
Right.
So.
You just saw a slower decline of,
Shoot, I'll be honest, I can't remember what night it was, but some of those nights you had to have police getting in there because remember all the fights were breaking out and the...
Well, that happens. That's that's not reflective on malls. That's just reflective on large amounts of people.
Yeah.
And then that's how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd been declining for a while.
Yeah.
Why?
I think part of it was just the shine had worn off of it. Okay. You go through 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 years into this, and things just, people's taste change. I think that's a lot of it. I don't think it's necessarily anything more than that. I think in the past decade, it's more based around I think overall, the service industry has changed from any type of service industry job, whether it's a bank or selling clothes.
You got to keep
it's become
adapting.
more of a challenge from talent.
But I remember if a store ever failed, something else took its place. Even if it was local, like appetizers.
Sure.
And stuff like that. Something was always taking its place. You know, electronic boutique. Wow, what was that toy store that
KB?
What's his name? KB Toys. And then you know, or Dalton Books, or B. Dalton, or Walden Books and B. Dalton. You know, but then you'd have something that would open right up. You know, Radio Shack would close. And then here comes something else in there.
Well, I think that's reflective of what we're getting at is there was always something else.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it is in the service industry. It was looked at as there's always somebody else that's willing to do this job. And as we can tell now in 2021, that's a challenge.
Right.
Because there's not always somebody else to do a job anymore.
So in a small town, where do they go? I mean, obviously, we're talking about the internet age. We're talking about people's social media. We're talking, obviously, the boys stayed home, played video games with one another, did LAN parties back in the 2000s and stuff like that. And that may have been the big hubbub. What do girls do?
You're asking me, what do girls do?
Why weren't they coming to the mall?
Okay. I was about to say, is this a trick question?
Oh, boy.
I think people shop. They just didn't. It was not a social destination because other bigger markets, people wanted to go shop there. The people that lived here. If you had been in Pecanland Mall and saw it in 1989,
you wanted to go to Jackson or Shreveport or
when you were
gotcha.
12. When you're 22, you're like, man, let's go.
Been here, done this.
Yeah, let's drive to Dallas.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I see that.
Sure.
Okay, because that's what we did a lot too.
Yeah, I think that's more of it than anything.
Okay. All right, so now malls obviously hurting across the country.
Sure.
How would you, can you save the mall? Can the mall be saved or does it need to go away?
I don't know if it needs to go away. I think the business model just doesn't work.
Okay. Because I will say this, back before malls, it was boardwalks and street shops, which are now back in a way. Everything comes back around. Do malls come back around?
I'm sure they do.
Well, how do they do it? We put you in charge of Pecanland Mall. Besides having Brandon walk around in a court jester suit, which would bring in a few extra people, what all would you do?
Well, I think it's more. You would probably have to divide your business plan with a mall being so large. You would have to take portions of it and basically break it in half and say this is going to be an entertainment side of our mall. This is going to be more of our apparel side, and start finding ways to not really attract everybody, because I think that's when you lose your audience, is when you want everybody to be your audience. It's just, let's make it specific so it's almost like the shopping experience people talk about, where it's like they can just go into a shop and get out rather than walk through the mall and all this stuff. Like
sections.
Right. Break it up, and then you can still have the ability to go inside and look around at everything. And
I like this idea because it's similar to what I was thinking. One wing, as you know, we have is the food court considered the middle?
I wouldn't say that.
No, you're right, because the other side's way too longer than the other.
Yeah, there is something called center court. It's just where JCPenney's is.
And where Sears used to be. Yes, I do know. Yeah. Yes, I do know. So center court.
Where all the fountains used to be, where they don't have water anymore.
So you're talking about 3 different sections then?
I'm saying you break it in half first.
Okay.
And then figure out how you're going to...
Entertainment would be things like Tilt, which is there now. And I guess, well, you'd want the movie theater on that side, section, whatever it is.
Right.
And you'd want probably sit-down restaurants, too.
I think that's part of, something more along the lines of...
Make it more of a date night on that wing, where you can ride your go-karts, do your, fun, carnival fair thing, or put a bowling alley in there.
At least in our town, you can't even have a drink there's no restaurants that have drinks. So I think that you lose a lot of that audience by not having that. And if you break it in half, you have that at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I like that idea, because then people can go out and do that stuff. There's tons of things there. It's inside, air conditioned or heated at any time. You're not having to go from one place to the next. You're just walking in a, climate controlled room.
Yeah.
Rain does not matter.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Fine.
Probably get some, if you'd have to spend money to make money, but probably even get some, what is those, golf cart trolleys?
I think that's it. Like, make it special,
right,
in its own way, but you actually link it if somebody wants to go for that, but still make it where it's accessible in these little spots.
And you move stores to the other side, and I like that, because people don't have to walk from one distance to the next. Everything is right there. If you want the shopping experience, great. If you want the entertainment experience, great, it's over here.
Yeah, and you've got all these giant buildings. A mall is such a huge...
tons of space.
Yeah. So you could do all kinds of different things as far as, like, we have a camouflage shop here that's been here for almost 30 years that does incredible. You could do all kinds of Louisiana animal-based type stuff. And I'm not saying to have wild boars running around. I'm saying facilitate that business model into, where you can go in and, have bow hunting and stuff like that.
Okay, so what would it... I like this idea, but how would you attract people to open up shop in there? Do you lower prices? It seems to be the only thing.
I don't think it's necessarily lower prices. I think it's if you come up with a business plan
and present that would be good
and
enough.
Say, this is where we want to be in
5 years,
a year, 5 years.
Okay.
That kind of thing, not where we want to be.
So this is something you slowly build over the next few years.
Yeah, I think that you would have to take a good look at where you think we're going to be at as a society in 2 years, especially considering everything that's going on in the past 18 months. Right. Is a huge part of that.
And actually, that's actually a good idea, because now, once this goes away, they will eventually want to be going out and doing something. Correct. Who's going to get that business first? Because it's going to be a brand new world out there where now entertainment is just boom, and you could redefine what that is.
Right.
That's a good point there, because then you could reimagine a mall.
Right. Yeah. What does social interaction look like, and how is it comfortable, and what can we do to entice people to want to come out, basically, other than saying, oh, well, we've got blank. It's not that we have blank. It's like we can offer all of these different services, but you don't have to partake in all of that.
No, I see that.
I think it's like a tier system. Like if you wanted, let's say you want to go get a manicure and pedicure. I don't know if you're familiar with what that means.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you can go get a basic, you can get a deluxe, you can get hot rocks. Yeah, you can do all that kind of stuff. Nice. So I think in most businesses, if you do a tier system, Patreon pages, people have these basic pages, and you have these other
pay a little bit more for a premium service.
I think that if we looked at it that way, that's how you sell it. You offer these different things. The more you pay, the more you get, which is a simple business model. But I think part of it is it can't be, well, I'm going to pay for this, I just get everything. You just got to really make that elite thing. We only offer this to 120 people or something like that.
So that's how you pitch it to businesses. How do you pitch it to the public? What marketing do you utilize to get this message out that malls have changed? This is a good business model, but how do you, unless,
well, I don't think that...
You can't just put a sign up there saying under new management. What do you do?
No, I think that the way that things catch on now, and you can die by it quickly or not, is you have to really control your word of mouth by your social media and make sure that the people that you have in charge understand the importance of what they say, when they say it, and you have people that are sincere inside this. You don't just say, well, I'm going to recruit this person that did well in this and recruit this person that did well in this and drop them in this idea pod and see what we get. Like, you really find people that are passionate in a service industry about a customer service, about a customer experience.
Right.
Like, if you wanted to go to Disney World or whatever, there's different tiers of that. Exactly. You know, it's how goofy do you want to get goofy?
Right.
In Disney. You know, you want the basic level, or do you want to put on pajamas and everybody take pictures and have a cosplay party?
Yeah.
I think that's how, you know, you have to pitch everything where...
So social media would talk about, hey, have you seen this at the mall? We got this new at the mall. And, hey, tonight over at this place is bring a pajama, get 10% off.
No, I think it's more, less is more.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to come out with pyro and everything. You come out and let your word of mouth speak for itself. So if you can control your press in the beginning, let it grow from more of a grassroots level.
So less is more and more is less? Is that?
Possibly.
Maybe.
You must have seen my laundry.
Anyway. Okay. No. Okay. I'm liking that.
Mm-hmm.
So you let the public perception build on its own, and then word of mouth starts running.
Yeah, I don't think that you need to.
They bring more friends.
I don't think it needs to be like an ad that is
ad-driven
louder
place.
on your TV than the show you're watching to get your immediate attention.
I wouldn't do TV or radio these days. I would just do billboards. If I was to do anything, it'd be billboards.
Yeah, I would take it, like I said, don't make it such a huge deal, because you want your expectations to be here when they walk in, and you want them to be here when they walk out. You don't want them to be here when they walk in and be here when they walk out.
I agree. Pitching the moon, and they go in with high expectations. You want them coming in and overwhelming them with, you know, something they didn't expect.
Right.
Yeah. But my billboard would say, isn't it nice that this isn't another lawyer billboard? Come to Poundland Mall.
Something like that. It's better than it was.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I would have Wayne Humble pitch at one commercial, maybe.
Possibly.
I reckon it's nice. Nicer there.
Yeah.
You should go. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Good idea. And so people start flocking in.
I think that it would be...
And with this model, how long would it take to rejuvenate them all?
3 years at least.
Okay. All right. So the 3 to 5 year thing is that what we're...
Yeah, you got to be willing. Whoever would want to go into this would understand they're going to lose. They're going to lose their shirt in the beginning.
But of course, as all advantageous ventures do.
Sure.
You know, you got to risk it for the biscuit, I guess, to get those people coming in.
However you want to wordsmith that.
Okay. All right. Good. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Any store you would bring back from the dead back into the mall if you could? This is just a bonus question now. We've solved your problem with malls, America.
I don't think the bonus would be Toys R Us by any means. I don't care about them. That. I think that you need to, whoever the demo is, whatever that demographic is,
all right,
you say what made them want to come to the mall in the first place, and that's what you would want back. So you're asking me, as 44-year-old guy.
Yeah, I'm asking you just for fun.
I think that people our age, nostalgia
sells.
Yeah. So I think that you have to bring back, not necessarily something you're selling, but the environment of what that was.
Tape World. I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Tape World.
KB Toys would be fun.
Yeah, I think little things like that, where it's not you're going in with this huge amount of overhead. And I'm not saying chotsy kind of gifty stuff. I'm saying
I understand. Yeah, serious.
Yeah, there's something to that. I think it's the atmosphere, and if you make people feel a certain way, that's when their wallet's open.
Yeah. That's true.
It's totally not the product always.
Nostalgia sells. Mm-hmm. That's true. So, can you believe we had a Daiquiris Unlimited at the mall one time?
Yes, I can.
All right, folks. Hey, you know what? I don't say this enough, but let us know in the comments. What do you think? What could save them all? Do you agree?
And don't say it's Bruce coming back to the podcast will save them all.
Do you agree or disagree with Wes? And if so or if not, what would you change with his idea? I like the idea. I agree with that idea.
Yeah.
So just let us know. And we'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe.